Hey everyone, John Runner 88 here with another Star Wars figure review. This time it is the Mandalorian Death Watch Airborne Trooper, and probably the longest name we've had in the vintage collection. I'm not gonna go through and figure it out for sure, but that's a lot of word descriptions, I guess, for this trooper here. Um, And there's a big old name pill. I'm not a fan of the artwork on it. The helmet looks kind of like a little weird over here. It's just like, it looks like they just like had somebody throw it up in Photoshop or something. When they've got tons of awesome images from the show they could have pulled from. But yeah, that's that. I am an out of box off card collector, so that's enough of that right there. Um, but I think hands down this is the best of the most recent Mandalorians we've gotten using this body here. We've got the captain here and the super commando. Um, they all pretty much have the same body, with the exception of the captain having a different like shoulder piece, um, and they all have different helmets. But this is great because it's got the articulated helmet, which is awesome. Um, and it's just like the paint apps on it are like incredible compared to the other ones. Like this guy's missing tons of like scuff marks that he should have all over the place. This one, like even down here, it's got like this two-tone, um, like a shin guard. He's got scrapes here on the cod piece there, um, scrapes all over the like chest and the helmet. Um, yeah, there's some places like the shoulders that are like lacking those scuffs, but they do have the like a little insignia there. They've got an insignia there. It's got these little tick marks on the helmet. Mine are not quite evenly spaced apart, but it's whatever. Um, and the unique thing about this guy is, we'll take the blaster out. I really wish they had cast these in like a darker plastic color. It's fine if they don't want to like paint them or whatever, but I think a darker plastic would have looked much better with these guys. Um, but the interesting thing with this one is the um, forearm here has this like a sweet Mandalorian like a gadget thing going on. And the interesting thing about this is um, we've got the joint at the elbow, which obviously gives you this, and it would give you rotation, side to side. But they actually added an extra piece. I'll try and get close here. There's an extra piece that they sculpted, and we've got on this arm, you can see that there's kind of like a little short sleeve kind of molded in here. Some of the like undersuits for the Mandalorians, they have like I know Jango Fett definitely has this. It's just kind of like a little short sleeve and then like a longer sleeve that goes under the gauntlet. Um, and on this side over here, where that short sleeve ends, they actually made a separate piece that's plugged up into it, and it actually rotates there as well. So the elbow would be able to rotate, but since it's got that extra piece, that kind of does all the rotating instead. And that is to allow for these like these like tubes here to not get like as stretched and stressed out. However, I do think this one here, from bending at the elbow, could definitely like rip at some point. But honestly, if that is the case, you could definitely like kind of just like shave it down and like um, come on now. You could definitely like shave it down and oh my goodness. You could definitely like clip it at like the ends and it'll look fine just having like the um that piece right here just kind of like being on its own, not having anything connected to it. But this one here will definitely probably hold up to the test of time. Um, yeah, very interesting setup they have there. Um, But this figure here is definitely like this shows you that we're gonna be getting a like definitive Jango Fett um, with this like sculpt at some point in the future. Um, it's got the helmet. It's got the torso. It's got these are like his shoulder pads. It's got the short sleeves here. It's got the ability to add like the gauntlet with like I'm pretty sure Jango Fett has like the piping. The only unique thing that they really need to worry about is like a new belt, and then they can just have like um, holsters that like just wrap around like the leg there. But that's like what his shoes look or his boots look like. That's what his shin guard looks like. So this is I can definitely see somebody whipping up like a sweet like almost perfect Jango Fett with one of these figures once they start really getting out there and getting into people's hands. I can't wait to see somebody whip that up. And then it'll be awesome to see Hasbro come out with one. They could definitely do a Game and Greats Jango Fett for us, which would be cool. Easy way to get him out really quick instead of waiting for like a mainline slot for him. So we've got the jetpack. It's got a little paint deco on it, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. The holsters are tight as usual. I don't like this design. It's got too much extra like plastic on the edges, and the blasters don't fit in there too great. So eventually I'm going to go in and kind of carve out like a little extra plastic so that the blasters go in nice and easy, because they're not the hardest plastic, and if you pull like too much with like this way, they'll definitely break after time. Um, yeah, now we'll go on to story time, because an interesting thing happened with this figure. Actually, not this figure, but I was I had most of my figures from this wave show up from Amazon. Amazon, I believe, was the first retailer to have them showing up. And, I got my Din Djarin in disguise. I got my Figure and Dan. I got my clone troopers, the Ahsoka troopers. I got the captain here. And I was holding out on this guy. And then finally, one day, Amazon showed that it had shipped, and I was like, okay, cool. Should be here. Usually, when it ships, it gets here in about 2 days from the facility in my region over here, and it went from that facility to the one that's like a city over from me, and I was like, cool. So should be here tomorrow. Didn't didn't show up. I was like, okay, that's strange. And it didn't show like any movement. It showed that it was received at that facility and that it was just sitting there. And I was like, okay, where is it? And then it's went from, I got a message from another local collector, and he was like, hey, did you get your Airborne trooper? Um, Amazon just canceled my shipment. And I was just like, what do you mean? And he was like, it was like on its way and they just canceled it. It just said like it couldn't be, it was undeliverable. And I was like, okay, well, it's just for me just sitting. And I was like, okay, hopefully, there is just a holdup for some reason. And we had a lot of rain those few days, and maybe it just like held up some of the deliveries. And I was like, okay, so I'm sitting. It got there at like Monday, and then I was like Tuesday, I got the message from that guy, and I was like, okay, so I'm sitting a little anxious, and I'm just like, okay, well, where's my delivery? No movement yet, and then it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I wake up Saturday morning, and I look at my email, and it says, oh, we've canceled your shipment, and I'm like, really? You wait like 5 days to do this? I contacted somebody from Amazon, like they couldn't do anything when it gets like deemed undeliverable. It's either like they can't deliver it physically because of like maybe there's like a gate or something to your community, or like It needed to be signed and there's nobody there. That wasn't the case for me. I've had no issues with Amazon delivering things, so it must have been like damaged, which is frustrating because it's not damaged enough to see that it was my package and to update and say that it was undeliverable. And I'm an opener, so I just wanted. I would have been fine if I had a soggy package or something. That's all. That's what I can think of because it was my shipment was undeliverable. The other guy I was talking to, his shipment was undeliverable. Same exact figure. And then I heard from somebody else who was relatively local that they heard from other people that their figure as well was deemed undeliverable. So I feel like because of the rain, there was like one of the trucks with all of our figures on it got water in it or something like that. Or they were like taking them off a truck and maybe they had like a small pallet of them. They moved them into like they're moving them into the facility and they like fell over and got all soaked or something. So that was so much fun to deal with. And then I was like hoping they'd pop up back online, but they never did. And then it finally popped up in the Amazon warehouse, and I ordered it. I had some Amazon credits. It was cool. I was like, oh sweet, I'll get this in like a day or so. It's Amazon warehouse. It was like $11. It was cheaper, which was cool because they're usually damaged. It was probably mine that was supposed to come, but the Amazon warehouse items are holding on to that like November 3rd shipping or release date that they normally had. So I've got a product that I ordered from Amazon warehouse that is a damaged product and it has a release date of November 3rd. So I might have another one of these showing up in like a month. Who knows? Or I'll cancel that if something cooler comes up for like pre-order or something, and because I already got one, I don't need a bunch of them. I would love to army build, but I'm not a fan of having like a bunch of the exact same looking like figures. Like if I can change them up a little bit, like add some like I could add some like scuffs or dings or dirty them up more. But especially this guy, like he's like a unique looking guy. Like all of his scuffs are in specific areas. He's got like his like marks all over. I was thinking if I get another one, I might put like some more orange markings, like maybe one like along like um, the middle of his like helmet or something like that to like change it up. Maybe add like a little orange somewhere else just to kind of like tie that aspect of him together. Um, but that's my story. Thanks for listening. Did you have any issues with your figures? Are you in my area, the Northeast, and you were expecting your figure and it was undeliverable? Did that happen to you? That'd be cool to know. I mean, not cool that it happened, but interesting to know that like it's happened to a bunch of collectors around here. Um, but that is the Mandalorian Death Watch Airborne Trooper. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Follow me over on Instagram, JohnRunner88 as well. And yeah, I think that will do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye, guys.